Hi, my name is Anthony Sullivan, and I have a question for you today. Are you interested in making $5 million in 2 days? Well, if so, you're definitely in the right place. In this course, I will be teaching you how to make a quick game in Unity, which is going to suck, which will still generate you money because people are stupid enough to buy that shit. So go ahead, folks, and pay me a little bit of money on this site, and I will be teaching you all of my secrets. It's been a while since we really just kind of sat together and talked in a commentary video, so today I decided that I will be answering a question that many of you seem to be very interested in, which is regarding courses for learning different subjects. Now, by subjects, I mean anything from Unity and programming, which is something that you guys show a lot of interest for, or most interest for, obviously because we're a game dev community, but even to 3D modeling, drawing, music, and stuff like that. And if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, make sure to drop a like and also hit subscribe so you stay up to date for new content. And now with that being said, guys, let's begin.
And I'm like, whoa, man, my neck so goddamn cold. Diamonds when my teacher sold. I got homies, let it go.
Hey, what's up guys, it is Saikuru Sam here and welcome back to the channel. And like I said before, we're going to be talking about courses, and this is not only going to be specifically Unity courses, but it can also be applied for Unreal Engine, CryEngine, any other kind of engine, and also subjects like 3D modeling, drawing, coding specifically, and all that kind of stuff. So we're pretty much going to talk about the basics of picking a course for yourself rather than going in depth to a specific game engine or specific kind of topic. And if you do have a specific topic or a game engine you want to have help for, and you want to pick a course and you still don't feel like I covered up that kind of part you really want to have an answer for, let us know in the comments. We always are active as a community, not only me directly, but as a community we're always active and helpful and responsive to everyone who needs help. Now let's begin with our first talking point here, which is setting up your own criteria. What do I mean by criteria? Well, what do you want the course to actually teach you? What do you want to learn? And do you have any past experience from not necessarily publishing professionally made games, but just kind of game engines? If you have worked on a game engine before, have you used Unreal Engine before, etc. And these are important factors when you do pick a course, because when you have a little bit of past experience and a little bit of background from game dev, in case you're picking a course regarding game dev like a game engine for Unity, then you want to see if you do have a past experience, because if the course is very basic, you probably don't really want to get into that because you kind of do know the ground of game development, but you can still learn the basics from Unity. But you don't want to purchase a course for half of it. You can still find an entire course that is fitting you more than the beginner's part. And if you haven't yet figured out what you actually want to learn, that's completely fine. It's not a problem, like it's not a big deal. Just go, like my biggest suggestion is, if you haven't figured it out yet, go ahead and try a little bit before you actually purchase a course, because you can open up Unity. For example, if we're gonna focus on Unity for an example here, you can open up Unity, see for yourself, create a new project, see for yourself kind of what you know and what you don't really know, and also some things that you can actually find through internet. So instead of purchasing necessarily a course for the entire thing, you can actually search up a little bit online and see if you can find it. If you can't, then obviously go with the course. But if you do find it online and it's kind of like an easy thing to learn, then you probably don't even need the course that you're even planning to purchase right now. And now when you're actually researching and you want to come up with an answer to the question, what you actually want to learn, what are your criteria, like I said before, you kind of want to also specify onto the question, what do you want to specify on? Because a lot of courses on these course sites, they are mostly very specified and like divided into different subjects, which is normal, because making an entire course on an entire game development where you learn everything is really difficult, almost impossible, because you can't really make a course teaching the entirety of game development, including audio, including 3D modeling, drawing, speed art, level design, coding, everything else, rigging characters, like literally anything that goes under game development category, you can't really teach them all inside of one course. If you can, and if you're doing that, props to you. I mean, go for it. But it's not, you know, it's either gonna be very rushed up or it's going to be divided into multiple courses. And that's why I'm telling you guys already now, like, be yourself. Don't be like the other people who are like, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and learn game dev. Research a little bit by yourself first and see what you actually want to learn, and set up your own criteria regarding what you want the course to teach you, and set up your criteria for the course to be kind of like, you know, passing your own criteria, so that you actually know if I should purchase this or if I should go for another one. Now, another point that I want to bring up to you guys is, after, you know, doing the initial researching part, like I said in the previous point, which is very important, gather many courses, or all the courses that you feel like they actually pass your criteria that you set up in the previous point. Then you can start narrowing down the amount of courses you actually have picked, and kind of choose the ones that you want to go for, if you have one or if you have several, obviously depending on your financial status as well. And the reason I suggest you to narrow down over time instead of picking one randomly is to ensure that you don't really rush it up. Because if you want to get into a course and you're actually paying money for it, it means that you're kind of serious about this, right? Because otherwise you wouldn't really care that much. But if you go with, you know, kind of like note down all the courses that pass your criteria, which is super important that you have clear criteria from the previous point. That is literally the ground of picking a course, because that's the most important part. And then you can start looking at these courses and be like, all right, maybe, you know, they're in the same price span, and I got budgets for purchasing 2 out of 5 of these courses that I have noted down now, and I want to narrow it down. Then you can research a little bit further throughout these courses instead, and focus on these individually. So go into one course, see what it teaches, and then go into the other one, see what it teaches, and just basically compare them to each other in order to find the one that suits you the best. And one important note though is that when you're researching and when you're comparing these 2 courses to each other and multiple courses, you want to always prioritize quality over quantity. Now, in some cases, you know, I usually say, well, you know, quantity can be as important as quality here. But trust me when I say this, when you're picking a course, quality is always more important. Because if the quality doesn't match in between 2 courses, the quality is a little bit better on the other course that you're looking at, but the other course has a little bit more. I literally punched my microphone once again. This is happening way too often, literally in every video nowadays. But basically, you have to prioritize quality in this sense, because if you learn the logic rather than more stuff behind what you're actually doing and what you're actually learning right now, then you're going to be able to use it by yourself too. If you learn more stuff, it might be a little bit too much at the end of the day, and you might be a little bit confused when you're actually done with the course. And if you don't learn the logic, you're not going to be able to use it by yourself, because you're not going to learn the why factor in it. You're just going to learn, oh, okay, so I use this because the teacher says it. But what if the teacher is not there? What happens when you're actually done with the course and you're trying to program by yourself or use Unity by yourself? And this actually brings me to my next point here, which is the course teaching the logic? I literally have it written down. I should have just waited, god damn it. But let's go a little bit deeper into this little talking point that we have here. Is the course teaching the logic? It's important because, you know, if you don't learn the logic behind what you're actually learning right now, you're not going to be able to use it in the future. If I learn coding and I learn about, you know, variables, if statements, functions, and all that kind of basic stuff, you know, the beginner stuff, I might be able to, you know, tell what it actually is and what it does, but I'm not going to be able to use it in the future if I don't learn the logic, because I don't know what it does, I don't know why I should use it, and logic is all about why. You have to answer your own question regarding why am I using this. Same goes for 3D modeling. Same goes for drawing. If you're using, let's say, Blender for 3D modeling and you're gonna add a new face, or, you know, you're gonna decrease the amount of polygons in your model, you want to answer, why am I doing this? Or maybe you're increasing, well, why am I increasing? And if you can't answer that question, you still have things to learn in that kind of sense. But if you can answer the why question and you know when to use it, you know when to not use it, then you have kind of learned that kind of, you know, that area of the teaching span that the course has, and then you can move on. And that's why quality is more important than quantity, because if you want to become good at something and you really thoroughly want to learn it, it's better to focus on the quality and, like I said, thoroughly learn it so that you can use it in the future, instead of learning more but kind of just confusing yourself at the end of the day and end up, you know, not being able to use it in your further projects or future projects. Because it's unintentionally going to limit your knowledge about every single area if you don't learn it thoroughly. Now, I know what you're asking me right now. I do, trust me. You're asking me, well, how do I know if the course is actually, you know, logical and teaching me the logic behind it, and also focusing on quality over quantity? Which brings me to my next point. I love doing this. I don't know why. It just feels like I connect everything and I feel more professional. Professional. So this is a little bit more about the course and the author behind the course. So basically, who has written the course. You always want to check the description of the course and see if it kind of hints towards the fact that it's teaching you the why factor in the course and why everything is taught out. And it's always important to check out the background of the author himself or herself or itself. Did I just trigger someone? And why is the author important? Well, that person is the one who's actually going to take you through the steps of becoming a game developer, animator, drawing artist, I don't know, like whatever it is you're trying to learn, right? And it's important to see if the person is known or has a reputation of being the kind of person who's like, hey, you want to become rich in 5 days? Follow me in this course of Unity where we make a mobile game and sell the game through ads or whatever. It's like, no, you want to stay away from these, because these are quick money schemes that you don't really want to fall for, because these are very old tactics that don't work anymore. You want to learn from the person who's going to be willing to say, you know, hey, I'm going to take you through step 1, step 2, step 3, all the way up to maybe step 15, where you're going to learn how to become a game developer instead of just making one game that is going to have a little bit of potential and it's just going to be a quick money scheme to launder off people's money, and you're gonna die out eventually in the market itself. Because I'm sure all of you must have seen some kind of ad on YouTube until now, which is like, hey, you want to make a game in like 5 steps. It's like, well, I do want to make a game, but not in 5 steps, dude. It's no one is going to be able to make a game in 5 freaking steps. Calm down. And that's the reason why it's important for you to check out the background of the author as well. I see a lot of people do miss on this step, or maybe just skip on this step. I'm not really sure why they do, but they basically just, you know, rush up with the course and they're not satisfied with the course at the end of the day. And that's a problem, because if you check your author, you're gonna know if he or she or it or whatever has got bad habits like that. And some people might even be a little bit more soft on that kind of sense and be like, hey, we're gonna make a game and you're gonna learn how to make a game, and then you start up the course and he literally just sits in front of his computer and codes everything without explaining anything. And that's a problem too. You don't want to fall for that kind of trick either, because you want to learn, once again, you want to learn the logic. You want to learn why your teacher uses certain stuff, why your teacher places a model there, or, you know, writes that line of code, because you want to learn the reason they're doing it so that you can do it as well by yourself. And that's why some of my videos, tutorial videos, are a little bit longer, because I like teaching the logic. Oh, by the way, didn't you know that I make tutorial videos? Go ahead and subscribe. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much my 2 cents on this topic. Now, if you do have any questions, or if you have your own tips and tricks for people who are into courses and want to learn something specific, let us know in the comments. Hit us up. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Hit that thumbs up button in the face, because I really appreciate your support, and these likes obviously tell me a lot about what kind of content you guys want to see more of. Speaking of which, if you do want to stay up to tune for new content, I upload level designs, I upload game tutorials or game development tutorials and whatnot, and commentaries like these where I just kind of talk to you guys and sit through your situations and stuff like that. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see more of these. And we also have a Discord server. Like I said, we are a game dev community there, so if you want to, you know, share some of your own stuff or you need help, etc., make sure to join. The link is in the description and also in the pinned comment. Now, with that being said, guys, I'll either catch you in the comments or in the Discord server. See you guys. Peace out. Have a good night.